but I'm in prison. So ain't no way you the right one that was supposed to be coming. It gotta be somebody else. Like, are you sure? Because I'm in prison right now. Can you like get me out? Can you work some magic? Because I'm pretty sure if you're the one who you say you are, you can get me up out of this situation. But for some reason, you're not. So make it make sense. Like, this is how he's thinking. Like, if we had to put it in today's terms, how he was thinking, he would have been thinking just like what I just said. Good morning, y'all. It has been a while since y'all seen me, but me and my husband are headed to church. Say hey, baby.
Good morning.
We're going to get the word early this morning. Of course, I'm not gonna vlog or bring the camera into church, but I just wanted to let y'all know what I was doing so it can make sense later, and we can just talk about what I learned in church today. But yeah, so I will see you guys in a few. Y'all, we just came out of church and I boo-hoo cried like a baby, snot nose, tears rolling. It was bad, babe. Am I lying? I don't know. I don't know. They were talking about some good stuff. They were talking about how we let our circumstances determine our faith. Like circumstantial faith sometimes, and like we'll pray for other people and like send them to God when they're going through stuff, but then when we be going through our own stuff, it's like we forget. Like, I can't explain what I'm trying to say. What am I trying to say, babe? What did you take from it?
He was saying like you become imprisoned in your own circumstances, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hold yourself in a place where you want a miracle, you want things to happen for you.
Yeah, like you see other people getting miracles and you wonder like, where is my miracle?
Mm-hmm. So you hold yourself confined in that space instead of just watching God working around you and keeping the faith that it'll soon happen for you. It may not happen when you want it,
or it may not happen at all.
But
that's what he was saying too. Like, you have to be okay with that too, and not doubt him if something don't happen.
Everything's for a reason.
Yeah, and it just spoke to me on some personal levels about stuff, because it's some prayers that I be praying, and I haven't got what you pray for yet. So I'm gonna get off this camera before I start crying again. I'm gonna see y'all when I get home. All right, y'all, we getting some lunch at Raising Cane's now. I done cleaned up a little bit my face. I don't look as bad. My hair look crazy, but we getting some after church lunch. I don't know. I kind of made this like a little vlog now for some reason. But yeah, we got some chicken tenders. Some chicken tendies. Yeah. So we got we get the big box combo with lemonade, and we do extra fries, no coleslaw, and then I think that's it. Lemonade, extra fries, no slaw, and extra cane sauce. So if y'all ain't never been to Cane's, y'all should go. Raising Cane's. And then we might go, I want to go look at some New Balances. Might do that depending on how I feel. I feel better now, but yeah, I might swipe a little bit for some New Balances because I actually want some, because my husband got some and I've been eyeing them. So
give me a pair in.
He trying to match me. He said he was gonna buy mine. That what you went to school for, to get what you want? Because I'm gonna get them regardless whether he buy them or not, period. Okay, here go my food, y'all. Sorry, I had already ripped my bread in half. I usually I split my toast in half that they give, but it's just one piece. And then fries, and we got some tendies, and we got 2 sauces because we dip the tenders in the fries and the bread in the sauce, so we have to have 2 sauces. Then we got lemonades, and babe got the same thing.
Don't be on my plate.
Hi. These are not the New Balances that I'm looking for, guys. I don't know if they have them. Y'all, they didn't have the shoes, so I don't want them bad enough to order them without even trying them on, so I'm probably not gonna order them. We'll just keep that $150 in the account. Hey y'all, it's me, Queen. I was vlogging a little bit earlier, so I know y'all saw the intro to the video and saw that I got a little emotional at church today. Today is October 27th. Yeah, October 27th. And let me tell you, they had like a guest speaker, and we actually hadn't been to church in a minute. So we came in on part 3 of a series, but let me tell you, that part spoke to me. Okay, it spoke to me like I've been there for part 1 and 2. Okay, so we talked about it a little bit earlier, about what it was about, but I want to see if I can kind of break it down a little bit better. So he was speaking about how we have like a lot of circumstantial faith and how nobody ever wants to admit that, but like how things can be going well for you, and when it's going well for you, your faith is strong, right? And then, but when it's not going so well, you get a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? Like you start to doubt, which is not how it should be. And how if you're in pain, you got like a little circle around you, a little bubble around you, and you can't see past that bubble. You can't see past it because it's selfish of you, but you're selfishly thinking about only your stuff. Your worldview gets smaller because you can't see past your own hurt. You can't see past your own miracles not being done, or God not blessing you with certain things, or you see miracles happening to other people but not happening to you. And I feel like it spoke to me so much because I'm not going to get emotional right now, but I feel the tears being stirred in a little pot behind my eyes. But I deal with a lot of personal stuff. It's not a lot of personal stuff, but it's one big personal thing that I struggle with. And I don't know. I don't even know if I want to share it on here. But I mean, why not? It could help somebody. So I had a miscarriage back in 2020, and I still struggle to this day with understanding why. It's like one of those things I just can't wrap my head around. I just don't understand. And then I do a lot of comparing. I do a lot of comparison, honestly. And that's something that's not good for your mental. I do a lot of, well, I'm in a financial spot where I could handle a baby. And I know people who aren't. Or I'm married, have a husband, can't have a baby, but there's so many people out here who don't have those things and they have babies. Or that woman's like 200 pounds more than me and she was able to safely have a baby. Like, I'm just comparing like different aspects, trying to figure out like, what is it about me? What is it about me that makes it hard to get pregnant or hard to, you know what I'm saying? And then I sit there and I'm like, well, I know I can get pregnant. I got pregnant that once. So what is it? And it's like you're constantly questioning. You're questioning. And then all those questions slowly start to end up being like, God, okay, so why me? What is it about me? If I'm doing everything right, what is it about me where I can't have a child, or I can't have this thing that other people around me have? And to the point where it can consume you and you forget about all the things that you do have. Like, I don't know. And it's hard to explain. And a lot of people don't understand. It was 4 years ago, granted, but it's like, when I get in one of those modes and I'm thinking about it, it feels like it happened yesterday. And it's like you don't understand, because it's all you want in life is to have your own baby. You know, I don't know. Mothers out there, I'm sure you can't picture your life without your baby. And I feel like for me, even though I didn't make it past it was like 6 weeks. I was 6 weeks. I had just heard the heartbeat, which is crazy. Sorry, y'all. And then the next week, I started bleeding and everything, and then the miscarriage process started. But it was like I was already connected to the baby. And then a part of me feels guilty too, because I wasn't in my word. I wasn't close to God back then either 4 years ago. I honestly didn't get this closeness with him until last year. So I'm like, is that why? Is it because I wasn't in my word? Is it because I wasn't close to him? Is it because I didn't know him? It's like I think of all these crazy things. But all that is beside the point, guys. Sorry for the emotions there, but I just wanted to be open and real, because I can't just keep saying personal problems, personal things. I just kind of wanted y'all to realize why I was so emotional in the first clip. But I mean, I was boohoo crying, and I just felt like the word spoke to me, because I'm thinking about all of that in my own personal bubble all the time, my own small circle of pain around me, and not realizing that God is still performing miracles to people. He is still blessing people. He is still blessing me, even when I don't even realize it, because I'm not getting this thing that may not ever happen to me, which is hard to deal with, the thought that it may not ever happen. But then it's also hard to think of it happening, because it's been so long that it hasn't. So it's one of those things where you can't dwell on it. You can't dwell on things out of your control. None of this is in my control. None of this is in your control. So like, you really just have to accept the fact that you have to leave it in his hands. You have to leave it in God's hands, because if you don't, you'll be doing one of the things he tells you not to do, and that's to worry. And I find myself caught up in worry so much, and I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it. I don't cry about the whole miscarriage situation as often as I used to. But today in church, that spoke something to me, because he was talking about how we just wonder about how these miracles are happening here, there, everywhere. Or even just take myself out of it. He was talking about how these things happen to kids, and how these things happen to these other countries. And you wonder, how could a loving God let stuff like that happen? And it's just because you do think like that, and that causes doubt sometimes, if we're being honest. I know it's not one person watching this video right now that has not wondered and questioned, like, God, why is that happening to them? How could you let this happen to a child? How could you let this happen to a kid? How could that lady go through that? Or how could that man go through that? That person did this all these years. And then the preacher was like talking about John the Baptist and how he was in jail. King Herod, I think that's how you say his name, had him in jail. He kind of ruined the story for me, because I haven't even made it that far, y'all. Last time I was reading about John the Baptist was thriving. he was thriving, living his best life. And then the preacher was talking about how he got his head chopped off because somebody, one of the girls, King Herod's niece, great niece, something, like, asked for it on her birthday, wanted his head on a plate or on a platter, and then the guy did it. But anyway, that's beside the point. John the Baptist was in prison, like questioning, like wondering why, God, like, I've done all this stuff. Like, are you really the one that we were waiting for? Like, is it really you or is there someone else? Let me find the scripture that matches that. Give me 1 second. Okay, y'all. So I found, I Googled it, what scripture it was. It was Matthew, what does it say? Matthew 11:2. But we'll just start at Matthew 11. So, also, this is my Bible. It says, after Jesus had finished instructing his 12 disciples, he went on from there to teach and preach in the towns of Galilee. When John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples to ask him, are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else? So I totally understand that statement. He's like, okay, I'm in prison. I've been riding for you for so long, God or Jesus. I've been riding for you, but I'm in prison. So ain't no way you the right one that was supposed to be coming. It got to be somebody else. It got to be somebody else. Like, are you sure? Because I'm in prison right now. Can you, like, get me out? Can you work some magic? Because I'm pretty sure if you're the one who you say you are, you can get me up out of this situation. But for some reason, you're not. So make it make sense. Like, this is how he's thinking. Like, if we had to put it in today's terms, how he was thinking, he would have been thinking just like what I just said. Right? So then Jesus replied, go back and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Blessed is anyone who does not stumble on account of me. Right? So to me, that feels like a little bit of a diss. Just like the preacher said. The preacher said this too, so I'm not the only one thinking like that. Like, he's saying, like, okay, he want to say all that. Go back and tell him everything else you saw and heard. All these other good things you saw and heard that I'm doing. Go ahead and let him know. And I feel like, I don't know. I'm still trying to understand that, you know. But there's a lot of things that you can't understand when it comes to Jesus, okay? Let's see. But I feel like the whole saying about God gives his strongest people, like, the hardest battles or whatever they say, I think that's true. I honestly think that's true. And I also just feel like it's kind of, I don't know, it takes a mental toll sometimes because you have to really lean in the hardest when you don't want to, you know? And I feel like it's hard. It's just hard. And I think that's why I cried and I just kept wiping my tears. But I just kept crying. I just kept crying and crying because it's sad. It's sad. And you don't truly understand. You want to understand because you want to trust God, and you say that you do, but do you fully trust him? Because if you did, like, it's this whole vicious cycle, and God's people are just going to be set apart from others. And if God was a regular person on the street telling you, like, just somebody's cousin down the street telling you to believe something, and then they don't prove it to you always. They don't always, like, provide you with proof of something. You're just going to cut them loose. You're going to be like, they're a liar, whatever. But with God, it's more like you have to lean in harder because everything he does is for a purpose. And he's not lying to you. He's not promising you something and not giving it to you. You just don't understand what's going on. You don't understand the path that he's taking you on to get to what you need. And I think that's the part that's hard. You can't compare. Comparison will get you every time. You can't compare yourself to anyone, because that's when you just go down the whole circumstantial faith train. And that's what we got to avoid. And I feel like I was rambling so much. I'm sorry. But it was just my genuine, true thoughts. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for listening. And I know this was a little bit different than what I did the last time on the little series I have going on here. But I still feel like it would give you guys something. It would give, hopefully, somebody something. Somebody can get something from this, just like I got something from it in church today. And just pray for me. I pray for you guys too. Just say a prayer to help ease my mind, ease my spirit, and just get me through the rough patch that I'm going through mentally with that whole situation, because it's hard. And it's hard to be vulnerable on this camera right now, but it also feels kind of freeing at the same time to just let it out to a bunch of strangers who I hope aren't strangers for long, because I want to build this community with y'all. But it's just a lot. But I appreciate you guys. I loved church today. I hope you guys went to church today. I'm going to try to get this video up today. It's 12:36. So I'm going to try to get this video up today at some point. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming through. And to all my new subscribers, welcome. Sorry I haven't posted in a month, but I'm going to try to be more consistent here. My next video is probably going to be school related, because this is a kind of nursing school, like, faith channel. So it's going to be a little mixture of all things, because I am in NP school. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Bye.
Love y'all.
Get your scruffy self off my camera.